So today we're going to be talking all about taking control of that online reputation. Hopefully it's a good one that you have now, but really kind of just making it even better. So what we're going to cover today is why you can have all the best tools in the world generating those reviews, but fail to consistently get them. How to tap into the power of multi-channel communication. So using all of these different things that we kind of already use in our daily business life to really increase how many reviews we're getting. A little bit about how getting reviews kind of more of a team sport versus just one person trying to consistently get reviews, or everybody on the team forgetting to ask at all, right? Why you need to acknowledge and respond to all the reviews you do get, whether they're good or bad, and then how, of course, you can get all of this taken care of for you, which is really nice to have some sort of tools that can do that for you. Now, reviews is just one piece of what we call our digital dominance method. There are a lot of pieces to this. In our graphic here, we've got 8 different kind of phases of it, but there's a lot of pieces to running a business well, and all the different platforms, tools, things that you can plug in to really dominate. So getting referrals, getting reviews is really just kind of one piece of this entire thing. A little bit about me. My name is Will Hankey. My business is called Window Treatment Marketing Pros. I've been doing digital marketing for 24 years now, so quite a while. Got a lot of experience in the industry. I did just finish my next book, which is Triple Your Window Treatment and Awning Leads. I got a copy of it right here, and very excited about this book. It came out maybe 2.5 months ago now, and super excited about that. I know that Daniel got one recently.
Very good information in there.
Awesome, great. Yeah, it's a big book, 250 something pages, full of information about it. Like I said, I've been doing this 24 years. I'm an active member of the Window Coverings Association and the Custom Home Decor Network. We just partnered with Window Fashion Vision magazine, which is pretty exciting. I've got an article coming out in the March issue for them. We've also partnered up with Window Coverings University now to start helping them train more people, which is pretty awesome. We are a veteran-owned company, and this is my daughter Amber. She's my right-hand girl, and she does a lot of the web design type stuff. I do have some free stuff I want to give away at the end of this, just to stick around. And we've got some new, really cool stuff that maybe you haven't seen before. That I want to make sure that I get into your hands today. We are Google partners, and been Google partners for quite a while. So as I mentioned, I want to make this kind of interactive. So if you do have questions, comments, anything along the way, feel free to stop me. And I want to make sure that everything is clear. And if you have any questions or you're unclear about something, just interrupt me. All right, so why worry about your online reputation? Well, a couple things that can happen. Online reviews and reputations can really make or break your company. I know for my wife, and I know a lot of people, she heavily relies on reviews of other people, and not just for the typical restaurants and hotels like everybody thinks, right? But everything that we're thinking of doing, if we're thinking of going to a new place or checking out something else, or even parks and things like that, reviews are a big part of our life, and I think most people would fall into that. So when they're thinking of getting some work done in their home, or getting some new awnings, things like that, reviews are a big part of that decision process. Sometimes your online reputation does not match up with the quality of service that you provide. You're getting a couple bad reviews out there, and you're just not sure what to do with them. Yelp is notorious for promoting bad reviews of clients and then leveraging that to get them to start paying for their services, which is not cool at all. but is something that they have been blamed for doing in the past. In some cases, companies have invested, in some of the great tools that are out there, but they're just not working right, or they're just not working at all, or you're getting 1 or 2 reviews, a month, and that's not a great ROI, right, on some of these tools. So the big thing that happens here is it just kind of drags down everything, right? Drags down your marketing. There's opportunities missed because you don't have all of these positive reviews. And at the end of the day, your potential customers could go to a competitor that is kind of doing it right and has a better system in place. So here's the opportunity and the chance that you have to really kind of take advantage of this. Obviously, first thing you want to do is be the provider of choice, right? In your service area, stand out from the competition. One of the best ways to do that is to have a good amount of positive reviews. Obviously, 5 stars are best if you can get those. Not always what you can get, but for the most part you can. And then leverage some of these different tools the best way you can so that you can drive those consistent and high quality reviews to your site. Let the reputation speak for itself at the end of the day. Be the go-to company for everything in your area. It'll help you with your overall rankings and obviously maximize those conversions. So you'll generate more leads because of the positive reviews, and those can turn into additional conversions, additional revenue, of course. So do these online reviews matter? I think this is going to be pretty obvious, but I wanted to share some stats. 84% of people trust an online review as much as they do a personal recommendation. So that's pretty huge. And especially in kind of the days of COVID now, where we're not interacting a lot with people, people have kind of started to look at those reviews as a replacement, if you will, for personal recommendations. 77% of consumers think that reviews more than 3 months old aren't relevant. This is pretty wild too. If you're only getting a couple reviews every once in a while, consumers are discounting those older reviews. That's not great, obviously. But having those reviews older than a couple months and having very fresh reviews can really help your business as well. So obviously, yes, they are mission critical. A few reasons why they impact your Google rankings. So this is very important in what we call the 3-pack of results, or the map pack area. When you're typing in, no matter what you're typing in, if you type in plumber, right, and then a location, you get those 3 results with the pins and the map. From a mobile standpoint, mobile users are tending to make their decision from that 3-pack. So if you're not in that 3-pack of results, you may never even be part of their internal conversation that they're having. 88% of consumers look at those reviews. Obviously, it's a major conversion factor, especially if you're not showing up in that 3-pack, you're not going to be part of that conversation at all. So why is controlling and managing your online reviews critical to you and your business? Again, probably pretty obvious, right? But I've kind of broken it down into 5 key principles that you can use for your business. First of all, the one that I hope you're already doing, and that's providing a world-class customer experience. Obviously, that is not something related to the online world, but at the end of the day, this is what drives your reviews, right? This is what reflects back to the opportunity to ask them for those better reviews. Build online reviews and reputation management into your company culture. So I'll talk a little bit more about this, but there are definitely some things that you can do around having your team be review minded, right? At the time of install, after the install, things like that. But starting to build this into the culture where, the more reviews we get, the higher we're going to rank. Therefore, everybody's going to stay employed, right? At the end of the day, show off the reviews that you do have So make sure that when you do get some of those positive reviews, you have some sort of mechanism in place to show those off. Put those into, a Facebook post. Our customers love us. Here's another 5-star review. Those kind of things are great and super easy to do from a social media standpoint. Number 4, leverage those tools to request reviews after every install to ensure that you're communicating on multiple channels. So not just asking somebody for a review after they get you get back to the office, or a day or two later you plug them in and then it shoots out an email request for a review. There are tools out there now that you can do other things, such as SMS, which is texting. Obviously physical at the time of the install, ask them for a review right there in front of them. And then an app like Lead Boomerang, which I know some of you guys are using as well, which has a fantastic tool where you can just check in a client right there and request that review immediately. And then number 5, acknowledge and respond to every review. Very important that as you get those reviews in, that you're not just being happy about it, but that you're acknowledging that, or that you're responding to it if it's a negative review. So which of these can you possibly work on? I think the obvious answer is number 1, provide a world-class customer experience. That you can always be working on, and any business owner is always going to be working on that. But any of these other that kind of stick out to you that you think you could probably improve in that particular area?
I mean, I think the physical part of getting the reviews, I think that's that's gonna, when you're in front of the person, it's like, if you send them like an email or an SMS, they're like, okay, fine, maybe I'll do it later. But when you're in front of the person, I think it's more like they have a better chance of writing a review, especially when it's right away and they're very happy right away. Get that sort of like energy of like, wow, I just brand new. So I feel like in person, I feel like that's definitely the best way to go. But I think these other ones definitely work as well.
Yeah, certainly. You're right. At the time of install is the best opportunity that you have, right? Because like you said, they're happy, they're excited, and getting them to do something, even if it's just pull up their phone and hit the 5 stars, pretty easy to do. And if they put you off, that's fine. But the longer that time goes out, the less likely you are to get those reviews. So one thing that you can do, obviously, the number of reviews that you have is easy way to increase this. And no matter what your number is, in this case, these guys have 11, but making sure obviously that they're 5-star reviews, but make sure that you have some sort of strategy in place to consistently get those reviews. And this is where it gets a little tough for some business owners, because you're running a business, right? You're doing 100 other things. And you're not always able to remember to ask for those reviews. But if you can start to put some sort of a process in place that lets you start to consistently ask for those, it will definitely help you out. You can leave a printed review card, and I've got an example of that here in a minute. The best way to do this, like Daniel said, is at the time of install. If the business owner, you are not part of the install process, then training your installers to make sure they're planting those seeds and obviously do a great job while they're there. Make a call after the service to kind of walk somebody through that process is another way to do it. And then obviously build those into your customer culture or your company culture is a great way to do it. And then leveraging tools like email, SMS, Lead Boomerang to really get the most impact out of your business. Here's an example of a review card. Go ahead, Rebecca.
You mentioned at install, but I've also heard from some folks that you don't necessarily have to wait till it's installed to ask for a review. So like after the sales process, or
absolutely.
What are your thoughts on that?
We have a client in Denver who asks for a review after the initial sales call, whether they get the proposal, whether they get the job or not. And that seems to be working pretty well. Again, as long as they're delivering a really good sales call process, it's definitely worth asking. I think the numbers will probably be less, right? Because, well, we didn't hire them. Why would I leave them a review? But
Right.
they are seeing some reviews from those people.
Okay.
We haven't got to the point where they're asking twice. So what would be interesting is, do they ask after that original in-home sales call or virtual sales call, and then ask again after install?
Yeah.
Haven't had that experience, but I think personally it's probably a good way to go.
Okay.
I think if, here's the thing, if you're asking for them after the original sales call and you're starting to see some 3 and 4 star reviews, probably a good time to stop asking them
Stop.
at that
Right.
point. Right? But you don't
Right.
know till you try. That's the great thing about a lot of this, is you can test different things and see what works best.
Cool.
So this is a review us card. We have a couple clients that do this too. QR codes have made a sudden comeback with these virtual menus and all these different things. We also have a client that just has a regular business card size thing. It has the QR code on it, and it also has the link to their website with a review us thing. But that's a cool way to kind of get people to, especially if you have installers, right? And you're not the one out there in the field, but then, part of the install process when you're done is get their signature, hand them this review card, things of that sort as well. Kind of a cool little way to go, super cheap to get these things printed. Obviously use some different review automations. There are a lot of different services out there that do this. And then of course there's the Lead Boomerang app. Another thing that some of our clients have really good luck with is just at the time of install, or, as Rebecca said, at the time of doing the sales call, everybody's got their phone with them, right? Your phone's probably right next to you right now. People love talking about their phones, so something as simple as, hey, is that an Android or an iPhone, right? They're immediately going to be like, I'm an iPhone person, blah, 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 blah. But just starting that conversation is so easy, and then, oh, hey, if I shoot you a text real quick, would you mind leaving us a review? That conversation might be as simple as that. But starting it out by just asking what kind of phone they have or something along those lines always seems to engage them very quickly and easily. And like I said, everybody's got their phone with them, so pretty easy way to start it. Also, consider having a reviews page on your site. Once you start to get your reviews in motion, have a place on your site that's dynamically created where it just dumps in new reviews as they're left on the different platforms. And there are automation services out there, including like Lead Boomerang that we use, that has this service as part of it. It's a dynamic piece of script you put on your site, and it's always pulling in your latest reviews. This is a great piece of social proof, I think is what they call this. So even though this page on a website has no call to action, no next step, anything like that, it's still a highly trafficked page on this particular client's website. Just because people want to check it out and make sure that they're legit, make sure they're a real company, things like that. So having that reviews page on your site, and you can see we put a little star in the menu next to it to kind of call attention to it as well. So have a system in place to ensure that every review is tracked and measured. Task somebody on your team, if you can, to respond to all those reviews, good, bad, or indifferent. So an indifferent review would be in Google, like yesterday for Window Treatment Marketing Pros, we actually got a 5-star review yesterday, but no comment, right? It was just the 5 stars, which is fine with me. But you still want to make sure that you leave a comment. Thanks for responding to us. Thanks for leaving us a review, things like that. And then formulate a strategy of dealing with negative reviews. Very important to leave feedback on negative reviews. In some cases, if you are the business owner, you're going to be highly offended, and that first review reply that you write is not the one you should really send, right? So write it, but don't hit send. Stew on it for 24 hours, then come back to it and kind of redo it more as within mind, okay, I'm not offended. What if somebody else reads this and they read my reply? Is my reply going to help the situation overall? And quite honestly, I don't think there's something bad about a company getting a 1-star review. Obviously, they get a lot of them, that's fine. But every consumer knows that at some point, some customer is going to be upset about something, right? And in that case, it really comes down to how did you respond to that? Did you say, hey, I want to make this right? We want to reach out and make sure that we're fixing whatever it is. Make sure that response to that review is very positive. Show your customers that you care, one response at a time. Just something simple, easy that makes it show that your business is responsive. Obviously, if you can make them custom, that's great. But in a lot of cases, the person that's tasked with writing the responses to the reviews wasn't necessarily part of the install, didn't actually engage with the customer. But if you can, that's great. If you can't, you can come up with something that's fairly generic. Thanks for the opportunity to serve you. We hope you're happy and that your awning enhances your business or your home for years to come. I think the trick here is, if you're getting a consistent amount of reviews, you don't just want to keep copying and pasting this in every time, because that's going to look a little crappy, right? So you might have to have somebody that's a little bit creative to change this every time. Also, you can create a page on your site specifically for reviewing us, or a review us page. We have one that looks like this. We can leave the 1 through 5 stars. We do this for some of our clients. Some other clients prefer a page that is more along the lines of a couple different ways that people can leave reviews. I like this method too, because not every customer has a Google login ID, right? Or not every customer is using Facebook. But if you give them a couple options, there's probably one that they're familiar with. Oh, Yahoo. Well, I use Yahoo Mail. So they may go click on that one, leave a review. Really simple process for them because they're familiar with that particular platform. So I do like this method. Now, one thing here, don't link to your Review Us page on your website. So this should not be in the main menu as an option for people to leave a review for you. Because that kind of opens the door to competitors finding a page like this and then leaving negative reviews. Not saying that they would, but they could, right? So this page is only sent as a link to a customer that the install is complete. So they'll send a link to this person and say, hey, would you mind leaving us a review? Here's a page we made. And I like this format because it gives them several options. The other thing that something like this does is it makes your reviews look more natural. So one thing that Google is always looking for is things to be natural. So if all of a sudden you get 10 Google reviews within a day or two of each other, might look a little shady to them, right? But if you get a review here, then you got a review a day or two later on Facebook, then a day or two later you got one on Yahoo Local. They look more natural. They're not all just dumping into one platform all at the same time. And that happens typically when business owners are starting out. They get their mom and their aunts and their uncles, everybody to go leave them a review, right? So all these reviews come in this short amount of time. Google's onto it, right? But having something like this makes it just look a little bit more natural. Any questions about this? Okay. Another thing, obviously, ask for reviews in the bottom of your email. In your email signature, how did we do? Click here to leave us a review. This, again, kind of sort of leaves you open to more potential ways for people to get in there and leave you a review. But again, if you're doing business on the up and up, it shouldn't be an issue. At the end of the day, you just want to drive these numbers up. Sunshine here has 44 reviews, and they're getting in this case, so 3 days ago, 4 days ago, a week ago, so they're getting a review every 2 to 3 days from their customers, which is great. Again, this depends on how many installs you're doing over time as well. We've got some awning companies that they only do a couple installs a week, so it's not as easy to drive the numbers up. Whereas a company like Sunshine, which is bigger and has 3 or 4 designers and several install teams, can push numbers up faster, right? So to review, 5 things you can do. Obviously, provide a world-class customer experience. Have some sort of reputation management plan in place in your company culture. And like I said, if you have an install team, make sure that they maybe just have those business cards, or understand how to start that conversation. Oh, what kind of phone do you have? Something like that. Make sure that you do show off the reviews you have. So post those, screenshot those, post those on Facebook, post those on the different social media networks. Be proud of those. If you do a newsletter or anything like that, here's our review of the week or review of the month or something like that. Obviously, use some of these different tools that are available out there. Email is the easy one. Texting is a great way to start to engage with people in a shorter term. The nice thing about SMS or texting is the open rate on text messages is like 98%, right? You're not going to get that from email, but you would get that from a text message. Doesn't necessarily mean they'll engage in it, but they tend to open it and look at it, which is more than they do with email. Obviously, physically, when you're at the install, great time to do it. And then leveraging an app like Lead Boomerang to start to ask for those reviews as well. And then lastly, make sure that you're acknowledging and responding to each of those reviews. So this is a lot of work, lots of different pieces to this, but it's important to know that this is just one step in the customer's journey. In this case, it is affecting both the very beginning of the customer's journey when they're looking at other reviews that have been left, and then at the very end, after they actually get the install, you can again kind of bring this piece up and affect future people that are looking for you. So kind of interesting how it works on both ends of what we call our customer journey. And again, this is just one piece of the overall digital dominance method. Tons of different pieces, tons of different things you can be doing in there. And as you know, this is what we do. We are window treatment marketing pros. We've got clients all across the US, including Daniel. I see Daniel on here. They're up in the New York area. And we offer exclusive agreements with all of our clients. So once a city is taken, we do not take any more clients in that particular region, which is a great little way to really boost your business up. If you're interested in chatting with us a little bit more, give me a call, 314-470-1180. You can schedule something at wtmarketingpros.com/strategy. And it's just a short 15-minute call, no sales pitch or anything like that. All right, any questions before I get to a couple of the free things?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is it possible? I remember seeing a page where like a PDF of a whole like chart of things to do for your business in regards to digital marketing, like PPC, SEO, and would you be able to send me that PDF? I feel like that'd be like a great organizer for me. I can just like jot things down like off of Photoshop or something.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, if you go to our website, wtmarketingpros.com, right there at the top of the page, it says there's a download for the checklist.
Oh, perfect.
And that is a checklist from start to finish of all the different things that you can be doing, all the things that I'm talking about in the book, but kind of all in one place. And I think it might be 2 or 3 pages long because there's a lot of things to do, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, just go to the top of the page there, and if you have any trouble or anything with it, let me know and I'll get that to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure. Any other questions? All right, let's talk about some free stuff. Obviously, the book, I've mentioned that a couple times now. Triple Your Window Treatment and Awning Leads. If you don't have one of these, I'd be happy to get one in the mail to you today. You can go to wtmarketingpros.com/book. Just plug in your mailing address, and I will get one in the mail to you right away. Secondly, keywords. So a lot of people are looking for different keywords. So, what are we going to put into our website to start ranking for different terms? We've put together a list of the top keywords for the window treatment industry, the awning industry, and the signage industry. So we have those, and there's no opt-in or anything. You could just go to wtmarketingpros.com/keywords and download that list immediately. And these are the top keywords from our SEO tool, which lists them in basically search volume order. And I think it actually has the search volume numbers on there as well per month. So you can see like how many people are looking up window treatments. It's a staggering amount of people looking those up. So wtmarketingpros.com/keywords will get you that list. And we just launched this new SEO report tool, just launched it this week. So there's some really cool things you can do with this. You can plug in your business name, and it will give you, kind of like Daniel was asking for, but in a different way. It will look at your current situation and then give you rankings, give you quality, poor, okay, good, great, on a ton of different things, website authority, ranking, your on-site SEO, obviously the reviews we talked about today, your Google My Business profile, how that is set up, and then it looks at some of your social channels too, and just generates this fantastic report of all of the different things that are working well or not working well for you. Absolutely free. wtmarketingpros.com/report is where you would get that. And we just launched it, so I'm excited about that.